Hello everyone, this is Melinda Roy. I'm the host for the today's conference WIN Summit 2023. As the speaker, Tavara is not joining physically, so due to some emergency, I would like to give a brief introduction about Tavara Franklin. So Tavara Franklin is a licensed therapist and owner of Healing Grounds Therapy and Wellness Center LLC, who has an issue for helping others heal and live in their truth. Tavara specializes in CBT and reality therapy. She provides a therapeutic journey for individuals, families, and couple of to discover their truth and live a transparent, unapologetic life as their authentic selves. Tawara's expertise is in assisting women and adolescent females who are experiencing anxiety or depression as they navigate through their daily lives. She provides a non judgmental, safe space with every turn down the road of healing while remaining honest, open, and transparent. Tawara stands firmly on the notion that clients are self sufficient individuals who are capable of change when endorsed by motivation and fortitude. She believes people are equipped fundamentally with the solutions to their problems by focusing on their strengths and resiliency. This is the introduction of Tawara Franklin. Shruti will play the beautiful presentation of Tawara Franklin. So, if you have any questions to Tawara, you can message in the messages tab so that I can email and you'll get the answers via email. Thank you so much.
Tavara Franklin. I am a licensed professional counselor. I have a private practice located in Stockbridge, Georgia, that's called Healing Grounds Therapy and Wellness Center, where we cultivate hope and healing back into your life. Okay, and we service individuals. We do couples, family, marital counseling on a day-to-day basis. And so, if Well, hello. It is a pleasure and certainly an honor to be with you in this moment, wherever you are, whether that may be you in your car or in your room with your friends, with a family member, wherever it is certainly an honor and a pleasure to be sharing this space with you. My name is Tavara Franklin. I am a licensed professional counselor. I have a private practice located in Stockbridge, Georgia, that's called Healing Grounds Therapy and Wellness Center, where we cultivate hope and healing back into your life. Okay. And we service individuals, we do couples, family, marital counseling on a day to day basis. And so, if you have a desire to get into service, I'll be sure to leave my contact information so that way you will have it. And I would also like to start out by saying congratulations to you. Well, I always like to say congratulations to everyone that I meet because any time that you decide to do something and you make a statement and say, hey, I need to do something to level up my healing, to get me to elevate to myself to a different space, to the person that I want to be, and you actually make those steps, it's always something to celebrate. So I say to you, congratulations for making that first step or many steps to healing. Today, we are going to be talking about self care. but just not any ordinary self care. Okay, we're talking about self care is mindful. We understand that self care is a lifestyle. Okay, self care, if you don't know, self care is a lifestyle. Self care is not a thing where you are just getting your nails done or getting your hair done or getting a beat, that is makeup, getting your makeup done. Those are all great activities, right? But self care is truly a lifestyle where you are having an intentional thought of placing yourself first each and every day. And so, this is what this whole event is about is allowing yourself and having an understanding of what self-care is truly about. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys from a mindfulness standpoint and let you have an understanding of what self-care is in mindfulness. And so I had an opportunity to ask a few people what their thoughts on what mindfulness is, and some people said that mindfulness is the ability to focus in on just that moment, or it is being in tune with yourself, your emotions. Some people said that mindfulness is a perspective. So I want us to dabble in and talk about what mindfulness is. And mindfulness is intentionally engaging in the present moment experiences non-judgmentally. Okay, that's the key word, non-judgmentally, because we can be quick to place opinions and labels and judge so much. So in moments, it requires you to be intentional about that moment and not placing any kind of opinions on it. That means you're giving yourself permission to engage in whatever it is that you are engaging in that moment, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Okay? So that is what true mindfulness is. Mindfulness includes a couple of things. Mindfulness is a state, a trait, or a practice. So let's talk about what mindfulness in the state looks like. Mindfulness in a state, you have a moment of mindfulness, which is the state of your mind. And what that looks like is, say, for instance, you're getting ready to get in your car to clock in on that 9 to 5, and you're just jamming out to your playlist that's get you all up in mood, and you just sing it all by yourself in the car, just having no care to worry, but you're in the moment with that song that you're jamming out to. That is a state of your mind in mindfulness, okay? Or it could be, for me, self care for me, I like to do my makeup. So in the mornings when I have the opportunity, I like to be intentional about being in the moment with my makeup because I like losing myself in when I am doing my makeup. So that is what it means to just have a state, your state of mind of being mindful is just you engaging in whatever it is that you're doing in that moment. Then you have a trait, okay? And a trait can look like a habit or a strong tendency of being mindful. So, as women, or maybe even a caregiver, you find yourself always thinking about somebody else. You find yourself being mindful of other people's thoughts, other people's needs, other people's emotions, other people's desires. Okay? Or for ourselves, we can find ourselves being more aware or really in tune with our emotions when it comes to certain situations, distressful or not. So that is what mindfulness as a trait look like. It's just that tendency to be mindful. Then you have the practice of being mindful. And a practice of being mindful is you engaging in a more intentional practice of mindfulness by using either different forms or different activities, such as mindful eating or mindful walking. Now, listen, let me can touch on basis on that mindful eating. Okay, I love doing some mindful eating because not only does it allow me to slow down and eat, I don't be gobble up all my food, but I really take the moment to enjoy every single whatever it is that I am eating. I feel as though that each food should be honored in a way of eating them separately. And that's just me. Don't be judging me, but that's just what I do. Okay. So when I mindfully eat, I am consciously being active in the moment of being aware of how the taste of the food may be, or what the textures of the food is like, or you know, feeling the food just going down in my throat, in my stomach, all that good stuff. Okay, it's me actually slowing down and enjoying my meal. Okay, and who doesn't like to enjoy their meal? I don't know nobody that doesn't like to enjoy their meal. Okay, so mindfulness can also be you practicing breathing. Sometimes we practice mindful breathing when we're in anxious situations, or maybe we're in distress. So these are what mindfulness can include. It can be either a state, a trait, or a practice. Now, a lot of people have an opinion on what mindfulness is. And when I talk to them about it, I'm listening and I'm like, that's not what mindfulness is, okay? So I thought it was important that I included in this presentation what mindfulness is not. And the first thing I want to state is that mindfulness is not a constant state of calmness. It is not where we are in a constant state of zen, okay? And that we are just calm every day, all day. Mm-mm. That's not what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is where we are being accepting and engaging and inviting all of those beautiful emotions that we have, whether that may be happy, sad, anxious, nervous, scared, whatever those feelings are. It is being accepting and aware and being in the moment of what those feelings bring, what those feelings may mean to us. So it does not mean that we constantly have to be in a state of calmness, but more so being accepting and aware of those feelings, of any feelings that we may have. Okay. The second thing, mindfulness is not the absence of thoughts. Okay. Some people believe that mindfulness is that we just have no thoughts anymore. We're just sitting there and we're just having no thoughts. But that's not the case. Actually, it's the opposite. Mindfulness request and encourage that we be aware of our thoughts. It is that we are being in the present moment of those thoughts, whether or not you believe in that you are a great friend, or maybe you have thoughts of you being a bad mom, or whether or not you're performing at this job or this task to your best ability. It's you actually having the awareness of when those thoughts come in and sitting in those thoughts and understanding what those thoughts are. So it is not us having a complete absence of what those thoughts are, and even thoughts, but it's us inviting and being accepting of those thoughts. And lastly, which is a major one in my opinion, mindfulness is not religious. It's not a religion, y'all. I mean, it's just not. Um, Mindfulness can be practiced with anyone and anybody of any religious affiliation. It doesn't require you to be of any kind of religion, or any of that nature at all. It's just that mindfulness is just not a religion, and it doesn't require to have any kind of religion association. Anybody can practice mindfulness, because all it is just you intentionally experiencing the present moment. Okay, so I want to talk about why mindfulness is important, because oftentimes we may do things, but we don't understand the aim or the goal or the significance of what it is that we're doing. And so I want to be able to take a moment to discuss why is it really important from a self-care standpoint of being more mindful? And that is because mindfulness allows us to focus in on our moment. It allows us to focus our attention on the present moment while helping us to increase our ability or our ability to regulate emotions or decrease stress or any kind of anxiety or any kind of depression. Okay. It allows us to be one pretty much with that moment that we may have. And it gives us an understanding of knowing that, hey, I might be distressed at this moment. So I might need to be able to shift on what it is I need to do to regulate my emotion or to minimize my anxiety, to minimize my stressful event. So it requires you to focus your attention on what it is that you're experiencing so that way you know. I believe that a lot of things happen because we're just so unmindful. And what unmindfulness means is that you either thinking about something that happened in the past or you're thinking about something that happened in the future. Okay. Big Sean said it best. Okay. He said the past is history. The future, that's a mystery. The present is a gift. That's why it's called the present, okay? The present is a gift, y'all. So if we are not engaging in the moment, then we will miss out on all the beautiful opportunities that the moment would incur. So that is why mindfulness is important. Another reason why mindfulness is important because it can also help us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Again, I've said this before. It requires us to not place a label, to not place an opinion on what it is that we're experiencing at this moment. We can be able to observe, to to acknowledge what it is that we may be thinking or feeling, and then become accepting of it. I feel as though that if we, in order to become accepting of what it is that we're experiencing, we have to acknowledge it. And so if we don't acknowledge it, then there is no way we can be accepting of it. And if there is no way that we can be accepting of it, then there is no way that we can either minimize it if we are in a distressful situation. As women or people, we wear so many hats. I mean, for me, I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt. I mean, I wear so many hats. And so, because we wear so many hats, we don't know if we're coming or we're going, right? So, because of that, I wonder if we are truly in the present, okay? Sometimes we can physically be present, but self care, true self care, requires you emotionally, mentally, and physically being present. Okay? We can show up physically for our friends, our loved ones, our spouses, our mates, whatever, right? We can just be present. We're there in the event. We are saying, oh, I need someone to sign up for this baking event. I'm there. Okay. So we can show up for everyone physically. We can be present. My body is in the building. But are you really emotionally and mentally present? So the question I want to propose to you is, am I present? Are you really present? I mean, your body's here, but is your mind and your heart, your emotions, is it in the building? It's funny because when I think about this question, the first thing that comes to my mind is when I was in school and the teacher would do roll call and they were like, all right, say if you're present, raise your hand, or you say present. So, this was the thing that came to my mind when I thought about mindfulness. and thought about in the essence of am I present? And so when I thought about this school analogy, I honestly believe that teachers were not just asking if you were physically present. Okay. I mean, if you raise your hand and you said present, um, they see that you're present. You know, physically your body is in the chair, right? But I think they also may be asking, are you emotionally and mentally present? Are you emotionally and mentally in the building with me together? Are you here? Okay. Because sometimes we can just, our bodies can be here, but our emotions and our minds are somewhere else. And oftentimes, when our emotions or our minds are somewhere else, it takes away the experience. So, therefore, we're not there. From a self care standpoint, when we are absent from our emotions, from our mind, and we're not in tune with the things that are going on with us, then we're doing a disjustice to ourselves. We're not taking great care of ourselves. That means my body is going, going, going. It's operating like it's a machine, but emotionally and mentally, I checked out. So this life that we're in, of all these many roles and these hats that we wear, they are really the teachers. And honestly, we're the students in this matter. So the question that you have to constantly stop and ask yourself, am I present with myself? Am I emotionally and mentally, spiritually present in this moment? My body's here, but am I here? I want to take an opportunity to answer, hopefully, a couple of questions. Um, there was one question that was asked, and the question was, well, Tavara, um, what if I found myself being calm, and next thing I know, I'm in this whole frenzy, and I can't get myself to calm down, and I can't get myself to get to a state of calm. What do I do? So when I seen that question, it made me go back and think about what I stated earlier. Again, mindfulness is not a state of constant calmness. Mindfulness invites and is accepting to all array of emotions. So to answer that question, I would say that you have to be accepting of what it is that you're feeling in that moment. You got to be aware of what it is that you're feeling in that moment and be accepting of it. Invite those feelings. It's like riding a wave. You allow yourself to feel that moment, whatever that distress may be. Once you allow yourself to acknowledge and be accepting of it, now I can do something to help me calm down. So I want us to take a moment to do a mindfulness activity. And so this activity is called SOS. It is SOS really stands for slow down, orient, and self check. And so I want us to take a moment to get comfortable. So I'm going to get comfortable with you, okay? And I want us to be able to go through this mindfulness activity. And you can be able to place your hands on your chest, just like so. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I like to close my eyes because it helps me to ground me and helps me to focus in on whatever it is that I'm doing. So I invite you to do the same if it's comfortable for you. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. this is where you're taking a moment to focus in on this, where you are, where we are, we're together. It's a lovely day. We are in this moment, in this space, sharing this space with one another. Notice what your fingers, your hands are doing. Take a moment to notice what your feet might be doing, the foundation that is how that foundation feels. Now, I want you to take a moment and do a sun check. This time, I want us to take a moment to check in on your levels of distress. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm completely distressed, and 1 being I'm as a cucumber. Where will your number be? Take a moment, take that moment, keep breathing. Now, I want you to take a moment on your level of control in this moment. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am totally out of control, and 1 being I am totally in control at this moment. What number are you? Take a moment, think about it. Don't take that number. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you don't have your eyes open, I invite you to open your eyes slowly on the count of three. One, two, three. How did it feel for you? I know for me, anytime that I do that, I feel so much better. And not only do I feel so much better, I am able to be more aware of what it is that I might be thinking or feeling at that moment. And it's an opportunity for me to ground myself, especially when I'm in stressful situations. If you found that your number is like a 10 out of 10, don't be alarmed. It's okay. You're perfectly fine. This activity is not meant for you to fix anything or to change anything. What mindfulness or this particular activity is meant for you to really be aware of what it is that you're experiencing at this moment. It's meant for you to just be in the present moment of it and be accepting of that feeling, non judgmental. But if you're not at a 10 to 10, that's fine too. You could be at a 3 and a 5, or a 3 and a 4, or a 3 and a 3, whatever your number is. That's fine. It's are you being accepting of that? If you are, good for you. Hey, if you have not been following me on Facebook or any kind of social medias, what are you waiting for? Okay, I want to invite you to follow me. Every Sunday, I am doing a live. And on Sundays, I do what's called Soulful Healing Sundays. And what that is just such as this, is a mindfulness activity where I invite people to listen in on a particular song that I use for that week as music inspiration to provide helpful tips to jumpstart your week. Okay, so if you have not been following me, you can find me on Instagram. That is Healing Grounds underscore therapy, or on Facebook you can find me at Tavara Franklin, and follow Healing Grounds at Healing Grounds Therapy and Wellness Center LLC. I hope this activity and this presentation was really helpful for you, and that you was able to really find some kind of peace and understanding of what true self care and the mindfulness aspect is. Self care is a lifestyle. It's not just a moment, but self care is also mindful, where it requires you to be active in the present moment, all moments, so that you can truly live a genuine, healthy, authentic life. Take care. I'll see you soon, and I encourage you to live an honest, open, and transparent life. See you later.
Thank you. As Tamara is not here, if you have any questions to Tamara, you can message so that we can send her email so she can reply back. Thank you so much, Tamara, even though if you are not in person, so you have given a terrible presentation. It really added more to the WIN conferences. Have a wonderful day, and let's get into the another speaker. Please join the another session. Thank you.